Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to Global Impromptu Speaking session number 207. Thank you so much for joining in today and becoming a regular family member of Global Impromptu Speaking. In this session, you will be speaking for at least 1 minute and maximum 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Just to let you all know, this session is being recorded and will be uploaded on social media. If you'd like to see how do you look on camera and how do you sound, go watch your recording, at least your part. It will help you to improve for next session. Ladies and gentlemen, today our topics master is Toastmaster Akib Javed, all the way from India. He is quite a new member of this platform, but I think today is his second time as topics master. So let's put our hands together to welcome Toastmaster Akib Javed to hold this meeting successfully. Best of luck, and over to you, Toastmaster Akib.
Thanks, Toastmaster Amjad, for giving me this opportunity. I know first time I took this opportunity and I could not attend on time. I was late that day. And today what happened, like I was in waiting room for last 3 to 4 minutes. I thought meeting is not happening or what. So great to be part of Global Impromptu. Like my entire Toastmaster journey has started 5 months back. So wherever I go, it's new only. And that too in 2021. So earlier I thought of doing Toastmasters, but I didn't have time. Like offline meetings were going on in 2019 and all. And just because of our office works and all, I could not attend. But now since that I've got the opportunity and I've joined Toastmasters and now I'm here in Global Impromptu session. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for being part of it and being so much welcoming, like giving newcomers these opportunities. Yeah. So coming back to our sessions for today, we have certain topics written down, and since I have been focusing more about studies in my life, so some of the topics are about studies and school life. Further, we have normal topics as well. So these are very normal topics which we come across through different platforms, and we have all come across. So there won't be any new thing which will come like Toastmaster Rumba. So this will be all known topics. All we have to do, like we have to set our grooves and go ahead with it. So I don't know who joined first, but I would like to start with Toastmaster Navid. Toastmaster Navid, are you available? I mean, can we have a quick audio video check?
Yes, am I audible?
Thanks, thanks Toastmaster Navid for accepting this. So very first question for you is, do you feel that school education is mandatory to succeed in our lives? Do you feel school education is mandatory to succeed in our life? Toastmaster Navid. The stage is yours. You can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Table Talk Master, dear Mr. Akib Javed, and good evening to all of you. Hope you all are fine. My topic for today is, do I feel that school education is mandatory to be successful in life or not? Well, what I feel and I have learned from this world is that school education is not necessary. People can have different ideas, but if you compare with the people who are working in their own company, they are their own boss, they don't need any education, because there are many people in the world who started from the scratch. They were even the sailors on the cart, and then they became very successful business persons. If you ask me particularly, In Pakistan, there is one company, Orient Energy, an Orient group of companies. They are producing many products like refrigerators, like ovens, like bulbs. It's a huge company and producing in all of the world and exporting in all of the world. And what I learned from its story is that the person who was the owner of the company was selling, not selling, but capturing the photos of people on the sea, on the ocean. Means on the seaside, he was capturing people's photos and selling it to the people. He started from it, and then he knew that I can buy the camera rolls on wholesale. Then he started purchasing on wholesale level, and then he started working on his own shop, and then he purchased another shop, and then he joined ventured with some other business people. Eventually he became a successful person and it became a very huge successful company. So this is one example, and there are many examples in the world. And I feel that education is in the school is not necessary, but education in the world is very necessary, because we learn from people, we learn from many experiences of people, and we learn from these examples. So this was my take. Thank you very much, Tabletop Master.
Thanks, Toastmaster Naveed. I can infer that education is not mandatory for success. However, for us to live as a civilized human being, we require certain kind of education. It's not necessary that it should be taught in school. It can be taught in school. It can be taught in colleges. It can be taught at our homes itself, and we can learn those civilized way of living. Going ahead with the session, I would like to invite Savita ma'am on the stage.
Yeah. Savita, yes, please. Yeah. Please.
And visible, ma'am. The topic for you is very simple. Topic for you is, what is your personal brand? What is your personal brand?
Thank you so much, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Akib, and my greetings to everyone present here. I think everyone should have zest in expressing your personal brand, isn't it? Personal brand is something which I think you yourself know that what is it. Yes, then slowly, if you shine it in some sphere in life, then people also come to know about that. And sometimes it is just up to you only, because you feel happiness in that personal brand, and you feel satisfied, you feel contented. The rest of the world, whether appreciates or no, you are not bothered. The contentment what it gives you, I think that is enough in life for some time. For myself, if I feel personal brand, brand can be taken in anything, whether in your qualifications or your personal virtues, personal traits. For me, if I say, yes, qualification, of course, everybody qualifies in the life. But giving importance in life to relationship is my personal brand. I like to have harmony in each and every relationship in my life, which gives me happiness. For that, you have to have patience. You have to listen. You have to put yourself in other people's foot. Then only the relationship can go ahead. It is not easy, because sometimes your own self, you give importance to your own things. But to keep a relationship, you have to accept the other person's opinion, irrespective of whatever is there around you. So yes, that's the thing, keeping harmony and going ahead in life and being happy and in gratitude is my personal brand. Thank you. Back to you, Table Topic Master. Lovely topic.
Thanks, Toastmaster Savita. Savita ma'am, we can all learn from you how to keep our relatives happy and be happy as well. Sometimes we feel that going to friends will be better than talking to relatives, but we can infer from you that we should, make those relationships more alive. Yeah, thanks. Going ahead with the session, Usha ma'am, can we have you on stage? Are you ready to take up the topic? See, I've not seen who
yes.
joined earlier, who joined late. So the main process is that we see who came first and we give topics. Today I only came late, so I don't know who all joined. So you were there. Can we have?
I'm there. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible and visible. Topic for you, Usha ma'am, is if you want rainbow, you need to put up rain. If you want rainbow, you need to put up rain. The stage is yours, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Javed. And good evening, good morning to everyone. If we want to see rainbow, we need rain. Yes, obviously, that's 100% true. When rain comes, when sun also there, then we can see rainbow. So rainbow having so many colors, right? All the colors at one place in one kind of form of a structure. Like anybody who sees rainbow, they're really happy and they enjoy it because all the colors at one place in one particular shape. So when rain and the sun together, only we can see rainbow. So what happens at that particular moment? There are so many gases in the air, it forms together and bring this rainbow. Same way, yes, if we want to see colorful in our life or anything, anywhere, so we need to bring that ourselves. When the rain comes, only we can see rainbow. We can see rainbow, but might be, we don't know. So anything if you want to bring in your life as happy as rainbow, like as beautiful as rainbow, you need to work for that. You bring that yourself and don't depend on anyone or don't try to wait for something. You try to do yourself what you can do to bring that happiness or that colorful to your life. Maybe it is hidden somewhere, you are not noticed it. Only when rain comes we saw the rainbow. Likewise, very good things or very happiest things are there inside or somewhere hidden. Try to bring it out. Try to see where it is, how to find out. Yeah, that's what I can see in my perspective. Yeah. Thank you, Javed.
Great, ma'am, great. Initially, you went into full engineering mode, talking about gases, how to form, and then back. So great, a great speech by yourselves. Yeah, if we want something great in our life, like so same amount of effort also we need to put up, right? It cannot be like I want to become a consultant at KPMG and I don't work hard to become a consultant. So that's not possible. Like God is always watching. Going ahead with the session, Sharman sir, can we have you on stage?
Yes, Toastmaster Javed.
Great, sir. Thanks for coming up. Topic for you, Shaman sir, is one of the hardest lesson of our life is letting go. One of the hardest lesson of our life is letting go. The stage is yours.
Mr. Topic Master and Global Into Friends. And if you carry the heavy bags or baggage in your shoulders, you can't move forward. You can forward, but it's difficult. If you let go your anger, your anxiety, or what you call this, disagreements or any other things, and you will be free. Then you are free to achieve your targets, daily targets or monthly targets. And if your mind is cluttered, you are not very clear about what you are going to do. So one thing at a time to also do, you have to be very clear mind. So for that, actually, you have to have the peace, you have to have the patience. Like Toastmaster Savita said, everything matters for you to go forward and achieving your objectives of your life or working life or family life or any other thing. So I am just telling you, sometimes we have to keep our baggages also in this situation. And if you do some meditation, or if you can, there's a thing called the breathing techniques, and also closing of windows. If you close your windows, whatever the things happen from the day you woke up, and things will happen until you are doing the meditation or closing of windows, you can remember and forget it. Then you can have the peaceful sleep. And it says sometimes you go with you sleep with the problem, you get solutions. But I can say you can have a peaceful sleep and you can have a very good the following day morning, you're fresh. If you let go everything, closing of windows is the best techniques to clear your mind. Over to you, the topic master.
Great, Shaman sir. You gave both insights, but you gave us the ideas like how to cope up with the problems. Like even I realized, so there are issues. We all know there are issues in every companies, every organization, every family. We have certain issues that everyone is aware of. But the way we move up to the ladder, we all realize these are the things which I should focus on. These are the things I should hear from this side. And it should go off by the other ear. I mean, we should not keep with ourselves. Otherwise, this will burst. I mean, it will fuse. I cannot have 1,000 problems at my head. And at the same time, I cannot have a peaceful life. So it's good to, keep something moving out, keep delegating things. Wherever issue comes, you just try to forget. So I forget in night. Whenever I come back to home, I try to find out some Toastmaster meeting. I join there. By the time I am speaking on certain topics, my other issues are all gone from the mind. So that's a great take on the topic, Shamal-san. Going ahead with the session, I can see Jaya ma'am there. I have a very nice topic for you. Can we have a quick audio video check?
Very good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Topic for you is turn your face to the sun and the shadow fall behind you. Turn your face to the sun and the shadow fall behind you. I'm texting in the chat box as well.
A very good evening to all Global Impromptu members and dear guests. Turn your face to the sun and the shadow will fall behind you. Very true. We should look at the sun for brighter day, for brighter future, for to have a nice day in our life. If we don't look at the sun and we look at the shadows all the time, by being shadow can be being very negative, not very hopeful. You see all black, you can't see anything. So in order to to get the shadow fall behind you, you need to look at the sun. You need to see how you can make make your day brighter with zest. How you can upgrade yourself in your career. How you can because nowadays in any field you need to upgrade yourself every time. every year you need to give your exam. I know it is very very tireful, every time doing it, but you have to if you want a son, right? So that's why um, we should always we should um, we should get up and enjoy life with a zest. Be with people who have full of energy, who who are full of zest in their lives. We need to have those company. Then only um, they'll make us son as well, right? So I I do believe that we should look at the sun if you want brighter day, if you want to shine in your life, in your career, and get that shadow behind you with a zest. Over to you.
Great, Jaya ma'am. Kudos to you. Yeah. So you spoke about upskilling ourselves, and I feel that it is very important for all of us. So what I was doing earlier is that I was working in a company for a supply chain division, and I was studying for another stream. So these two were not matching, and I was not facing towards the sun. Then I started studying about the thing I do, and which has helped me, succeed in my career. So a great take by yourselves, ma'am. Now I have, I can see Sunita ma'am available. Sunita ma'am, can we have quick audio video check?
Yeah, good evening, Akib.
Good evening, ma'am. So, ma'am, topic for you is very interesting. Is the greatest mistake you can ever make in life is to be continually fearing that you will make one. The greatest mistake you can ever make in life is to be continually fearing that you will make one. I'll post it in the chat box.
Got it. Good evening, my Global Impromptu family. Yes, the greatest mistake we all make is the fear that we will make mistakes. Just the other day, we were talking about the graveyard being the place with the most amount of treasures, because most of us die with all the talents locked within us. We have not explored it because we are so scared of, facing challenges. What we do is we stay in our comfort zone and we don't really try to bring out the best in us. So many of us have overcome that challenge and come here to take part in table topics. I guess we all went through that phase where, we were scared of taking that leap, So it is very important that we do it. And it takes a lot of courage to do this. So many people don't do it and realize very late in life that we missed so many opportunities because we stayed in that zone and didn't explore. I know I'm not a big believer in, stepping out of your comfort zone. I keep saying you slowly expand your comfort zone. You don't take a giant leap. What happens is everybody is in this rat race to get out of their comfort zone and overcoming their fears, that they become ultra stressed as a result of that, trying to keep up with the Jones, So don't do that. Try to explore a little, be a little more brave than you were, adventurous than you were the day before. Each day, take a small step forward and you will listen. So we have learned, I guess all of us in this room here have learned to overcome the fear. So we are not the ones who have made the mistake of fearing our fears. We have all overcome, and more power to us. Over to you, Akib.
Thanks, ma'am. A great take on the topic given. So you are telling that untap, we need to untap the potential. At the same time, have a relaxed target. And this is what my boss was saying earlier. Why you are keeping all the relaxed target? You should stretch out and do something great. Great take, ma'am. So I can see Toastmaster Tejal on the screen. Can we go ahead with you, sir?
Sure, Akib. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible and perfectly visible. We can go ahead. Topic for you is tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn.
So it's it is a very nice and relevant topic, and the big problem today we face is in the student community is that a lot of theoretical teachings is there starting from schools, like specifically in India, which we've been facing schools, then colleges, and the companies have to hire people and train them and make them work. So it is the experience which is the most important thing at the macro level and at the micro level. If you are talking from the perspective of a bigger population, macro level, how you can bring more and more people to experience things and do. That is one. The second is, if I am talking at micro level, which is my own family level, then I see there are few people in my family, like my wife's side. They are so good at, like today only one example I can tell you that there was some tap which was not like leaking. And my wife said that I said, okay, we'll go and get it, fixed with some place. And she said, no, you fix it. No, what is the problem? I said, I can fix it. Huh? Then I said, okay. Then I started doing something, and she said, no, do like this. And I did like that, and it happened. And I see in her family, if anything is some issue, they will, bring out those, screwdriver and open it, try to checking what is there. They'll try to fix it, which I feel is lacking in my family. So I said, you have to train I keep telling my wife that you have to train him for that. So the point here I'm trying to make is experience is the important thing. Theory is good, but the experience is at the next level. Therefore, it is important that wherever we are, whether at workplace or whether we are at home or we are playing sport, get maximum exposure of the experience rather than just being only the spectator if in office or any place. So that is the crux of life, and experience will help. And the only thing which helps us, which is detrimental, is the fear of making mistakes, fear of making fear of looking like a fool. And that's the reason we don't try to gain experiences. And off late, like for last few years, I've started putting my head into newer things, and I am gaining a little bit experience, and I hope to do it even better in future. Thank you.
Great, Tejal sir, like you really deep dive in the topic. So it says that, yeah, if we are involved into something, we learn it better rather than, in having theoretical aspects of everything. So theoretically, we have studied till 18 years of our age. Until unless we go into colleges and do practicals, it's all theoretical. It goes here, but it doesn't work out. But the feeling of joy that you would have had after doing that tap work will give more pleasure that I was able to do that. And you never believed it. Let me tell you, next time some issue comes, your wife is not going to call the plumber. It's you who is going to close this issue. So it gives some different exposure, and it's good actually. At my home,
sorry, carry on.
Yes, sir. So what will happen that whenever any electrical issue comes at my home, even it is neighbor fellow, they'll call me because I have got certain exposure by doing those things. So it is always a good thing to, involve in those and learn it perfectly. So great take on that. I can see Pratyush Gupta there? I mean, I cannot see his face since camera is switched off. Pratish, can we have you on stage?
Yes, good evening. Good evening, Toastmaster Akib. Must say,
Thanks.
you as a new Toastmaster, you are very zest.
Great, thank you. Thanks for the compliment. Pratish, going ahead, I have a very different topic. I mean, this is my own thoughts. I've been thinking why this is not taught in schools. So, do you feel personal finance should be taught in schools? So this is the topic which is not taught so far, and it becomes a problem for all of us. The topic is, do you feel personal finance should be taught in schools? When I say schools, it's primary schools. It is posted, the stage is yours.
I have forgot 99.9% things that I have learned in my primary school. So if you tell me that personal finance, that is a very important thing in our daily life after we grow up, should be taught in primary schools, then I will like to disagree, because personal finance is something which is very important for us, and it should be taught on a level which is nearer to starting our career. Or I say, like the topic you gave and the speaker spoke, that practical experience is the most important thing. Personal finance can also be learned when we deal with it in our practical life. Yes, there are many things that have been taught in our school, and we have forgot almost each and everything. But when things come in front of us, then we realize and then we remember, oh yes, we have been taught about that in school. For example, I will like to say that I deal in some electrical items, and which is related to copper. Once I passed some heat on copper, and when it was not up to the mark, I passed some sulfur, because I came to know from someone that sulfur helps in softening some items. Next day, I saw that it has turned black. Yes, from the color of copper, it has turned black. And then I realized that in class 7, in my physics books, it was written the same thing, that if you will pass sulfur on copper, it will change the color. What that lesson gave to me, I wish that that lesson would have been taught to me when I started my business. But is it possible? Will anyone tell me that if you do this, or will they know that whether I am going to do this stupid thing or not? So be it anything that is oxidizing copper or personal finance, must be taught in a practical level. That is, while we are facing it in our day-to-day life, we will remember it, because it is going to teach us a lesson. Thank you, and back to tabletop.
Great take by Pratyush. I know you made copper sulfate there. So yeah, so that's what, as Tejal sir said, that we should experience it, and we could have experienced it in our school lives. But there are no practicals happening across the schools. Often school will suffer with the equipments, the material which comes with it, and that doesn't happen. A great take on the topic. Going ahead with, I can say, Dinisha ma'am from Very Long. Can we have you on stage, ma'am? Dinisha ma'am, Dinisha Idir Veera. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. Great, ma'am.
Oh.
A topic for you, ma'am, is, if opportunity doesn't knock, make a door. If opportunity doesn't knock, make a door. The stage is yours.
Thank you for the topic. Good evening to you all Global Impromptu family members. Opportunity, if opportunity doesn't knock, open the door yourself. I totally agree with this topic. Opportunities does not always knock at our doors. We have to find out how we have to make the opportunity to the opportunity to knock our doors. We have to make the background. Otherwise, it won't come every time unless we are lucky enough. So I think from my childhood, how I made the opportunity, how I opened the doors to my opportunities is I studied hard. I was away from my parents from the age of 5 years. I was away. I was in the hostels. Earlier, I stayed with my grandmas and I made my opportunities to knock at my doors. And I made my future. So it's like that. Every time it doesn't come. So we have to look for that. Look for the opportunities. Even you go for a work or doing some other thing. Maybe in your personal life, if you are very interested in some people, maybe you want to find your partner, keeping quiet will not work. You have to open the door for yourself. So I think we all are doing the thing. We don't want to wait until the opportunities knock at our doors. We have to open the doors. Over to you, the topic master.
Great improvisation, I would say. That not just knocking, let us open that door itself. Going ahead with the session, Toastmaster Noora, can we have you on stage? You are there from long. Noora Alameri. Okay. Toastmaster Sayyida Kutulan. Can we have you on stage? Yeah, great. Can we have a quick audio video check, Sayyida?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, done. Thanks. Topic for you is get busy living or get busy dying. Get busy living or get busy dying. Toastmaster Sayyida.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akif, for the topic. So my topic is get busy living or get busy dying. In life, we go through different situations, circumstances, some situations which lift us up and some situations which bring us down. But it depends on us how we face every situation, every circumstance, how we behave, how we tackle it. Life is not a bed of roses. And so it depends on us that when we are in crisis, we control ourselves, we stay firm, stay grounded, and remain steadfast and face that challenge and stay optimistic that we are going to come out of it. It's going to be a beautiful tale of self-growth once we are out of that difficult phase. So either we can just sulk in our bad times, think about how things are going wrong, or maybe we can just think about how we can tackle that situation and come out of it rather than just overthinking and making things go haywire. Thank you. That's it.
Great, Sayyida. We should not overthink it, rather than we should do it. Thanks. Thanks for the Amazing speech. Now time has come for word of the day. Word of the day, Farida ma'am. Can we have quick audio video check?
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. You are audible and visible. I have a topic for you. Topic is first to apologize is the bravest. The first to forgive is the strongest. The first to forget is the happiest. The first to apologize is the bravest. The first to forgive is the strongest. The first to forget is the happiest. Farida ma'am.
A very good evening to my global impromptu family members. The topic that has been given to me is actually in 3 separate parts. The first part is the first to apologize is the bravest. I totally disagree with this take. I do not think that the first to apologize is the bravest. It doesn't take a lot of bravery to apologize. What it requires is humility. If you are timid, not timid, but just down to earth, if you're grounded enough, and if you have the common sense, you will apologize for your mistake. It just takes that much. If you're not arrogant, if you're not up in the air somewhere, it's okay. It's okay to apologize. We all make mistakes. We are all human. To error is human, to forgive is divine. And that brings me to the second part of the topic, which says the first to forgive is the strongest. This I totally agree with. I think that there is already enough hatred in this world to take away the zest of our life or the fun of our life. And we need more peace, not only globally. We need global peace that nobody can refute, but we need peace in our lives, in our personal lives as well. Amidst our friends, amidst our relatives, there's so much hatred and competition and a rat race in this world as it is, that it's okay to let go. It's okay to forgive. I have seen many Pakistani weddings, especially, go by with relatives who are really upset not attending them, or people not turning up for funerals just because they have some grudge in their heart from the bygone days. Come on, guys. This is in this day and age, it doesn't take much to forgive. It's good to forgive. If you forgive others, can expect forgiveness from the Almighty as well. So I totally agree with the second part of the topic. The third part of the topic is the first to forget is the happiest. I totally disagree with it. The first to forget is the most foolish person on earth. I don't think we should forget easily. I don't think we should forget the people who have done us wrong. I don't think we should forget our miseries. I don't think we should forget our past. I don't think we should forget our mistakes. And I think we should learn from them. It's okay to not forget and to live with those things. That is what we need to do. We don't need to forget people and forget mistakes and forget follies and forget bad things which have happened to us. What we need to do is to learn to live with them. Let them coexist. It's good to remember, oh, I did that investment and that went wrong. So now this time I'll be wiser. This is how we should go about our lives. And I have learned this by mistake. People kept telling me, oh, forget it. Forget about this, forget about that. But why forget? Each experience in our life is there for a purpose. And the purpose is to teach us something. Why to forget our experiences, whether good or bad? So, respected table topic master, really a great topic. I disagree with the last bit. I just used the word of the day once. I beg forgiveness for that as well. I hope you forget it and forgive me. And I apologize for it. So now I'm the bravest as well. Kudos. I love you all dearly. No doubt about it. Have a very good evening.
Thanks Farida ma'am, for giving 3 kinds of insight in just a table topic. A great take actually. Going ahead with the session, we have Dinesh, can we have you on stage?
Hi, Akud. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible and visible. Topic for you, Dinesh, is effort and practice makes you better. Sometimes it takes a lot of effort and practice. Effort and practice make you better. Sometimes it takes a lot of effort and practice.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you so much, Table Topic Master, and a very good evening to all the global impromptu speakers who are there in the meeting. This is something, this reminds me, it's not the hard work that takes you to better places. It's the smart work that you do day in and day out, right? Sometimes everyone have 24 hours, right? Even President Biden or even us have 24 hours. It's just that how we use that 24 hours, how smart we are in that, how productive you are in the hours that you are active, right? And we see the people who put so much effort and so much practice into one thing, and they didn't reach the peaks on the profession that they are in. But we see the other examples, right? Other side of the coin, where people who are smart enough and they just work for 1-2 hours rather than putting 4-5 hours on the single task, and they'll reach the next levels in their career right? And it's just the smart work that takes you to the better places. Of course, the hard work definitely should be there, but if you mix the hard work and the smart work, I think that's what will take. Many things that we can learn from the successful people, right? How they manage their time, how well they put their work, and how well it makes them better, right? And then if you see the if you take any example, right, they concentrate on the time where no one disturbs, like 4 to 8 in the morning. And I see Apple CEO Tim Cook, he works from 4 to, like, he gets up at 4 a.m. and then he do the remaining, like he starts his day early than the other people, right? And that's give the edge to you, like to proceed further, and that's what makes you to make you better person at the end of the day. That's what I can take it from topic. Right? Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dinesh. So time management is what taking you up. I mean, so I have learned that constantly, whatever routine job you have, that you need to immediately delegate it to others, because if you keep doing routine jobs, that will kill your time. So you should always work on things which are new, things which you're trying to learn and others cannot do. So by putting your own brain, you can find out those answers. And once it is routine, once you have got an answer, you forward it to others, you forward it to your juniors and subordinates so that they can continue doing those. A great take on the topic, Dinesh. Now I feel Neha Tawarani, Toastmaster Neha, are you available? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Am I audible and visible? Yeah. Okay.
You are audible and visible. Topic for you is, to double your gain, you have to triple your effort. To double your gain, you have to triple your efforts. Toastmaster Neha.
All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Akib. So to double your gain, you have to triple your effort. When we need something, we work a lot for it, but we do not really know how much we have to work and the thing we have to achieve. We do not have really idea how much effort we'll be needing. So when we come to our efforts, we know that we have to attain that thing. So when it comes to effort, when we really want to achieve something, we give our 1000%. No matter if we are doing, for people, it might sound, when we are doing something less, it might seem to the people that we are working, we are not giving 100%. But we know at that time, our capacity is that much only to give 100%. So when we need something, we have to double the efforts and
we have to triple our efforts actually. So when we really need something, there is, I feel that there is no limit of putting our efforts. So that is what the point about when we really need something. So that is all I would speak about on this topic, that when we really need something, there is no limit of how much effort we put, because when we need something, we go beyond limit to achieve that very thing. So that is all I would say on this topic. I hope I did justice to the topic.
Great Toastmaster Neha. So we need to, give 1000%. Earlier I was just thinking of 110, 120 only. My boss was asking for 100. I was giving 110. Now you are saying to, it's little difficult, but still we will try. We all will try to give 1000%. Now we have Deepa ma'am. Deepa ma'am, are you available? Deepa Sampath Kumar.
Just 1 second, I'm coming. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
Looks like you are in a hurry, ma'am. Just want to finish it and go off. The topic for you is constantly talking is not necessarily communicating. Constantly talking is not necessarily communicating. The stage is yours.
The power of silence. We say silence is golden, speech is silver. And this exactly is what they were telling us. When you are probably angry with somebody, instead of just drilling them with your words, just try silence and you'll know the power of silence. When you are silent and they come back to you, remain even more silent until they get the point. That is very powerful. Not just there, in our Toastmaster speeches, don't we all know the power of pauses? When we have some message that we need to deliver to the crowd, we pause before the message and we pause after the message. And what happens when we pause? People would be listening to us ranting about with our speech, and suddenly we pause and they're like, what's going on? And they look at us. And then we give out the message. They look at us and they take in the message. And then when we leave out with a pause, they absorb the message. These are two ways silence helps us. In everyday life as well, we can apply these. Constant talking, not a good thing. Who wants to keep on listening? I'm sure every one of us in the room, at least 3/4 of us are not listeners. We are talkers. And I think we need to understand one of the lessons from this topic is try to practice silence here and there at least. Try. It's tempting to talk, but try silence and you'll see how much magic it works out. Toastmaster Akib.
Thanks, ma'am. I'll try practicing silence and I'll go ahead with Saurav. Saurav, are you there?
Yeah, Toastmaster Akib, I'm here. Yeah. Am I visible?
No, you're not visible. Now you are visible. Great.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Saurav, what is one thing you want to be remembered of? What is one thing you want to be remembered of? Toastmaster Saurav.
Thank you, Topic Masters, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear Global Impromptu family. You know, we are just mere explorers of the infinity in pursuit of absolute perfection. Whatever we are doing right now isn't something new. They already existed. We just needed certain minds, certain extraordinary minds to prove their existence to the world. This particular quote said by Srinivas Ramanujan is something which I truly believe in. I believe that no matter what success you are gaining or whatever target you are achieving, somewhere, somebody around world has already achieved it. Somebody has already stated their faith in them. But what you should remember is the way how you motivated others to do that thing. I believe that when I die, I should not be remembered. I believe that what I should be remembered should not be something which I have achieved. It should be something I wasn't able to achieve, but I made somebody believe that he or she can. I want to be remembered somebody as someone who made their life, not as a savior or as a godfather, but someone who gave them and made them believe that they can do it. And if I can make them believe that they can do it, I believe that I must be remembered by everyone. Pardon for all the noise, but these noises make me believe that if the unheard noises can fall into my ears, my voice also can fall into your ears when I'm doing the table topic. Thank you, and over to the topic master.
Great, Toastmaster Saurav. I can see the effort you have put in, and these hustlings and honkings happening in the background, they give livelihood to our meetings. I can see Geeta ma'am there. Geeta ma'am, are you available? Can we go ahead with topic? Geeta ma'am, topic for you is, there are no shortcuts. Trying to cut off corner always works out harder in the long run. There are no shortcuts. Trying to cut off the corners always work out harder in the long run.
Thank you so much for the topic. Yeah, there are no shortcuts in life. We all should know that. We should remember that. It's very, very important. But what happens? Everybody wants to achieve maximum in the minimum possible time. We want to achieve. And that is why the youngsters especially, they want to adopt shortcuts. But remember, it is better to take the right path. There are two paths in the road, just like Robert Frost said, two roads diverged in the wood, and I took one road. So he did not take the shortcut. He took the adventurous road. He did not know both the roads looked equally tempting, equally interesting, and he knew that he would not be able to come back. But he took the road which was more adventurous, which gave him ultimately the joy in his life. He was happy. He was happy throughout his life because he took up that road. And that's the same message for all of us. Let us work hard. There's nothing, no compensation for hard work. Of course, these days, children believe that smart work is more important than hard work. Smart work. But smart work does not mean that you should adopt the shortcuts. There are many people who they do not mind taking any kind of path. They do not mind taking the wrong ways. So that is really very, very dangerous. It can be very dangerous. They want to earn a lot of money in a very short period of time. And as a result of which, they just follow any footstep, any road, and they believe in anyone, whatever people tell them. But that is not to be followed. Follow the right path. And I'm sure you have to work hard. You have to know where that road leads, whether it leads to the right destination or not. So ultimately, you'll find joy when you get your destination if you follow the right path. That is my belief, and I hope everybody else also follows that. Thank you. Back to you, Akib.
Thanks, Geeta ma'am, for remembering Robert Frost again, and he has made all the difference. Time has come to go forward with Toastmaster Amjad, because I think I've covered everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I know, sir, you are very much philosophical. So I have that kind of topic, a very easy one. Topic for you is why it's hard to say no. Why it's hard to say no, Toastmaster Amjad.
Thank you so much, Mr. Topics Master. Why it's hard to say no. It's all about love, emotions, and connectivity. If I'm connected with you, with my loved ones, and definitely I will think a million times before saying no. But when we say no, it may break relationships, which are very close to you, who are expecting something from you. That's the reason it's difficult. But it makes your life heaven. You have to cry once, and for the rest of your life, it's peaceful. But if you say yes, and you cannot do it, you cannot deliver it, you cannot, fulfill the commitment, it will surely make or break relationships. So it's difficult. And in this difficulty, in between is a small hairline. That hairline is love, emotions, care, belonging. That's it. So choice is yours. I would not say don't say no. I would not say straightforward no, because it's not possible everywhere, every point in time, in front of every single person. You have to think twice. Not every person is deserving a doubt. There are people who deserve, they need, they are right people. But sometimes we say no because of our bad experiences. And sometimes we say yes because of our good experiences. And repercussions can be either ways. So yeah, it's difficult to say 100%, say yes, whichever the situation comes in front of you, or say no, whichever situation comes in front of you. So we have to think positive, making sure we are not paying the price, society is not paying the price, and other person is not paying the price. So think twice, and according to the situation, say yes or no. End of the day, if it's good, it's coming to you. If it's bad, coming to you. Choice is yours. Yes, in between the difficulty of saying no is emotions, love, and care. Ladies and gentlemen, back to you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Amjad, for giving both ways of saying yes or no. As an employee, I was taught for the first thing that either you should say yes or say yes with the remarks. You should never say no. So we'll say yes. So this is what the remark is. It may turn out to be no, but I have to be yes figure. And I think this is what differentiates us as an employee and from our owners. Like someone who has learned the art of saying no becomes an owner and goes up the ladder, and we'll be at the lower stage. That's about today's meeting. Handing over to you, Toastmaster Amjad.
Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for
supporting. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful show. Ladies and gentlemen, who would like to give a topic to Toastmaster Akib? Akib, nobody is daring. Wow.
They want me to speak. I already spoke in between.
May I?
Okay, Saurabh is there.
Yes,
Saurabh is there to challenge you from the crowd, from the streets.
No, you are in mute.
From the crowd of India. So, Toastmaster Akib, your topic is, if life is a cycle, then what is your break? If life is a cycle, then what is your break? Toastmaster Akib.
Great topic, Toastmaster Saurabh. I have to wrap around my head. If life is a cycle, then what is the break? So I've been getting a lot of quotations of late and giving all these topics to everyone. I've searched a lot of topics, and I found out my own. I've made one more, my own quote. Life is like your wife. You cannot understand it. It's very difficult to understand life here. It is a vicious cycle. I mean, you keep running around. I mean, this is what I've told earlier as well. You study till 10th. Your father says, once you complete 10th, then it's done. You are full blown. I mean, you get good marks and your life is settled. Life is not settled, my friend. Again, you'll get certain other targets. Then we get +2 targets. Then we get engineering competition you have to clear. We go into engineering college. Engineering college, the final aim is to get a job. And we feel that this job, when I get, life is settled. No, it's not settled. Now you have to fulfill your boss ambition. So this is like a rat race which goes around us. And the break which we apply, I believe the introspection that we do in between that life, in between the things which move around. And we feel that this last 4 years, which I have been putting up this much effort, where this is leading me to, am I growing with the pace other people are growing? Am I on track? I mean, where am I? Like, so this has happened with me as well. I was working with the firm for last 5 years. And for the first 1.5 years, I saw certain growths. So I learned how to do this exports, imports, and a lot of other terms. After 1.5 years, it became a routine job. And at that point of time, I should have started delegating things, but there was no other option. I mean, I didn't have subordinates to delegate, and I was doing routine job for next 2.5 years. And that break came only after 5 years, only after the introspection that, no, this is not where I belong to, and I should move out of this place. Then only my life will have better earnings, better growth prospects, better learning opportunities. And that is where I applied brakes and switched company. And now last 6 months, I've been learning something new. So I believe that this break, which you are trying to put here, it's very important for all of us, a little introspection on what we do every day and night. So I used to, while sleeping, just before when we sleep, 5 minutes of introspection, what I did today, just thinking about those ideas, these 2 things I learned, these 4 things are pending for tomorrow, or this is what I learned new. I just thinking 5 minutes daily, that makes a great change in our life. And this is what we should, apply brakes. So to sum up the topic, I would say that it's all about, observing ourselves, doing little introspection every now and then, so that we are on the right track. So that's my take on the topic. Over to you, Toastmaster Amjad, for final close-up.
Thank you so much, Akib. A beautiful take and a very professional session conducted. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, this was 207th session at Global Impromptu Speaking Platform. Thank you so much for being a beautiful member of Global Impromptu Speaking. With that power vested in me as a host of this very meeting, I adjourn the meeting. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.